That's a creepy, spooky, weird Irish jig. It's a kind of a modern one. It's got that weird flatted fifth and
Oh yeah.
kind of a dark jig. It's nice and on the chromatic.
Check one, two, check one, two. There we go, everybody. I think I accidentally hit play at some point, but there was just some nice playing of you. So, welcome everybody for tuning in. Thank you. Let us know in the chat from where you're tuning in. We're back with the Hohner Live. This is pretty unusual. We're doing this on a Saturday today, but it's 6 p.m. here in Germany, and I'm super excited about this one, talking to James Conway. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you, Konstantin. Thank you for including me on the rotation of this awesome interview series that you do. I'm flattered and honored to be here.
Yeah, just warming up, or like hearing you warm up, was so much fun already. I mean, I fell in love with the whole Irish thing on the harmonica very early on, and it helped a lot for like other styles of music. And I mean, I obviously discovered you and your playing very early on, like during the golden age of YouTube, I guess. So I remember some of the videos, for example, including that low D tuned drone harmonica.
Oh, yeah. The bagpipe tuned harmonica, right?
And I don't even know, like that's probably more than 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah, I'm due for another video, but I send them. I make them occasionally, but yeah, I was on a YouTube roll back then. So life gets busy, and next thing you know, 10 years is passed. So I have to make some more videos.
Yeah, it's crazy. That is 10 years ago. And I mean, at that point, I knew that you were like playing so many different kinds of harmonicas and so many different tunings, and also playing the XB40.
Yeah, I love that instrument.
Are you still playing that one?
I have a couple of them that are still working. I got an XB40 graveyard where I kind of scavenge, Frankenstein pieces together. But yeah, I used to love the low Ds and especially the low D's XB40s, because as you know, the regular diatonic low D doesn't have the volume. It's kind of a quiet harmonica. You need a microphone especially if you're playing in an Irish session,
Oh yeah.
trying to going up against drums and fiddles and accordions and stuff. The regular low D harmonica is pretty quiet. It's nice, and it's got a nice mellow tone. And it's in the range of the flutes and fiddles, but it can't really be heard if there's a lot of instruments around. So the XB40 low D was a great instrument as far as volume and all the expression with the bends on all the notes. So yeah, I wish they would make reed plates for that, but they stopped doing it, and
Okay.
it didn't work. I guess it didn't. It wasn't the big hit of a harmonica, that they expected. It was supposed to be the newest, the answer to all the bends and everything, but I think in some people's hands it was bending too much and causing problems. But I loved it, and I still have a few keys. I got an A here, and but I do miss my low D's and my G's for the sessions, and
Oh yeah.
I still got them. I got a box of them. I should, if I get a few bucks, I'll send them out to Joel Anderson and have him rebuild them all. So, but that's on my list of things to do. Get all my XB40s rebuilt.
I see. Yeah. This might be a nerdy question early on, but how would you describe the difference of the bendings on an XB40 in comparison to a half-valved diatonic?
A half valved. Oh, okay. Yeah, P.T. Gazelle is the first guy that comes to mind with the half valve system.
Yeah.
He's the man with that. I tried goofing around with that. I got a couple of his harps, really nice instruments, but I don't know. It didn't really work for me with my style of playing and all the kind of the rhythmic tongue chording I do, and I don't know. I didn't take to it. But yeah, with the XB40, just with everything going down a full step, I like that. I don't know. I never really played it as a chromatic instrument. Some people did,
Yeah.
as in all 12 keys. I just enjoyed it for its bending, excessive, extra bending, XB, and its volume.
Oh yeah, and then possibly also just the possibilities in terms of articulation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is, even the lower D harmonica, sometimes the low harmonicas get kind of muddy and, just like the low end of a piano, it's not that crisp clarity you get on like a high D but yeah, the low D XB40 was, I could be playing at good full dance speed, a reel or a jig, and still the notes would be clear and articulate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing about the regular diatonic that, I sometimes miss. Especially if I have like the close gaps between the reed plate and the reeds.
Mm-hmm.
I really got to be careful with like holds 1 to 6 blow and 7 to 10 draw, articulating them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I'm just a huge fan of articulating notes. Oh, sorry. This is a harmonica freak calling me from Germany. I should invite him. His name is Herbert Quelle. I don't know if you ever heard about his name, but
I
he
don't know.
wrote 2 books about the harmonica.
Mm.
Yeah. So articulation is a huge thing for me and plays a huge role in like so many different styles of music. And sometimes I feel like the whole articulation thing coming from the throat is not enough. And I want to do the active da talking through the harmonica.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Popping little notes too. I do tongue blocking exclusively, just popping little notes, with your lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Wow. Yeah, I thought of that very early on because when I heard you play, I also heard that you played the overblows tongue blocked.
Yeah. That polka I was doing, it's Ford's polka, and it's it was on a G harmonica in cross harp, so in the key of D mixolydian. And, there's C sharps in there. So I don't know. I just like sometimes I'll use instead. You could play that one on another harmonica, but like Gallagher's. There's a Patty Richter. Patty Richter is taking the 3 blow and raising it up a step, and it gives you a nice minor chord, which I like sometimes. I'll play Dorian tunes on a G Patty Richter in E minor, where you could do it without needing overblows on a D. Sometimes I want that octave as my root, get those horn lines. But sometimes I like the kind of that 4th position minor chord you get with Patty Richter. Give it a little diaphragmatic shake. See, I do the C sharp overblow. I need that. So yeah. So I got it set up for just the right amount so it doesn't choke on me, but I can get that little passing C sharp, and I wouldn't have to overblow if I went with the D harp. But I don't know. Certain tunes tell me, oh, I want that low chord. And I like, flaunting that with the tongue, Yeah. So little decisions you make as a harmonica player, the more you know about the instrument and the positions and chordal reasons, people say, well, yeah, why don't you just grab the D, Well, because I want that chord. Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean, the Patty Richter tuning, that's also how I got into the Irish stuff early on, and then somebody sent me the Brenton Power book.
Yeah,
I mean, that was almost 15 years ago.
I know.
Some guy sent it to me via ICQ.
Oh, okay.
So I worked on that and retuned my harps to Patty Richter at that point. Yeah.
I've heard you play a couple Irish tunes years ago, and you're fantastic, man. You
very old recordings, I guess.
Yeah, you played a reel or something, and at a breakneck speed, and it was real. Yeah, your articulation is just fantastic, and
well, there's that one fast piece that's super beautiful, and I haven't played that in years, I guess.
Yeah, it sounded just like a penny whistle. My motto is on with the harmonica: if you can make it sound like another instrument in the Irish thing, like the accordion or the fiddle or the penny whistle, then you're doing something right,
Yeah. Well, what's
Seems
this
like
one called? I just remember the melody.
Go ahead.
What's that melody again?
I know that tune. I forget the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan Powers recorded that right after A Red-Haired Boy on his first. It was a cassette back then. I got a hold of my cousins in Ireland and said, "Oh, I remember back years ago when I was first doing Irish tunes on the harmonica. Well, my first instrument was this, the penny whistle,
Oh, okay.
And I gave that up, and I said, I don't want to do that Irish music anymore. I want to play Neil Young and Bob Dylan and get a rack harmonica. and then I got into the blues, and then heard some players playing the top register, and I'm like, whoa, because I didn't even
Wow.
know you could play up there, because I just heard
Yeah,
all the
that's
blues guys.
interesting because
Yeah,
so
and
so
that
many
sounds
players
like a
are afraid
penny
of jumping into that upper octave.
Yeah, it's and then I remember hearing some people specifically Sugar Blue, a master at the top end of the harmonica. I said, "Holy, that sounds like my penny whistle," and with the tongue rhythms, that sounds very accordion-esque. And so then I started getting back into the Irish music and taking all the jigs and the reels over to the harmonica. And I thought, wow, this was before the internet. And I thought, wow, I'm the first guy to ever play Irish music on the harmonica. This is, and then I was over in Ireland with my cousins, and they said, oh, that sounds nice. Listen to this guy. And they gave me a cassette of Brendan Powers' New Irish Harmonica. And I'm like, uh-oh. I thought I was the first guy, but no, I got some work to do.
Yeah.
And then I learned about the Murphy family, and then there's more and more great Irish players coming up. Or maybe we just have the internet, and we got the tools to know about them more. Some great players. Rick Epping and Joel Anderson is doing some unbelievable stuff with tongue blocking and drones, and it's really cool to hear other Irish players do all these tricks and stuff, and I learn from listening to these guys too. The different attacks and different styles. So yeah.
So, moving from the whistle to the harmonica, when was that? How old were you back then?
Oh, about 14.
Okay.
I was about starting high school, and again, somebody gave me a cassette of Neil Young, and I wanted it. Wow, I love that sound of the acoustic, and I started playing acoustic guitar, and then I got the harmonica. I wanted
I
to do
think
the
that's
rack
the sign.
harp.
I gotta open the door real quick.
Oh yeah, your groceries here. Go ahead.
You want to play some music, or you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
me to
yeah,
put
yeah.
on a loading screen?
Okay, here we go. Let's do some polkas.
All right.
Fords into Siege of Venice. Oh yeah, everybody loves a polka.
Oh yeah. Wow, I'm glad I didn't miss anything because you played that warming up too.
Yeah. Two nice polkas. The first one, Fords. I'm on a G Patty Richter, and that's kind of in D mix. A lot of Irish tunes go back and forth using a C natural and a C sharp. That's one of them,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, there's some C's in that tune. There's some C sharps, and And I could probably play another harmonica, a D harmonica, but then I'd have to do the overblows for the C naturals. But I kind of like chugging on that. Certain tunes on how the notes are and how much draw and blow. I kind of like that bluesy D chord. Chordal reasons I'll pick a certain position or a harmonica. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, so moving to the harmonica, like you probably started out playing the regular Richter tuning. Like when did you discover the first alternate tunings?
Yeah, I did Richter tuning. I didn't know, I played out of the box Richter tuned harmonicas, mostly diatonic. Got into a little chromatic, the 16 hole. And I think the first tuning that I got into was Patty Richter.
Yeah.
I realized the benefits of that.
I just played one today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you got there? What key is that?
There's no label on this one. I think it's B.
Oh, it's one
I don't know
rocket.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's B.
A B. Wow. Oh.
That's interesting.
So Patty Richter was the first one that I got into. And then I started going to the conventions, SPA.
Oh yeah.
SPA, Buckeye Harmonica, out in, where was it?
The
those were the two
autofocus.
ones.
Let me check. I'm back. Yeah.
Oh, don't hypnotize me now, man.
Yeah, that was like also
Yeah.
still for me like the golden age of YouTube, because back then like there were so many recordings of Spa on YouTube. Like people recording some jams on their phones and stuff. And right when the festival was happening, I was just like looking for the latest videos and see what others are playing. And if I couldn't do it, I was just like practice until I could.
Yeah. SPA is a great resource, and it's the ultimate harmonica event. You're there 5 days, and you are bombarded by every kind of harmonica from every age group, every style. The hotel is full of harmonica.
Yeah.
So if you want a lot of harmonica, go to SPA. It's everywhere. It's in the coffee shops. It's in the hallways. It's in the elevator. There's people playing it in the bathroom. In the restaurants all around the hotel. It's great, and I'm looking forward to it this August. It's in St. Louis, which is nice and nearby. I missed last year the Tulsa. Heard that was a lot of fun, and it's good that it's back. Obviously, COVID knocked it out for a couple of years, and it's just a great thing. And that's where your original question. That's where I learned so much about tunings and how to work on the harmonicas. And you learn everything there. Yeah, so I went with Patty Richter first, and then I started experimenting and just doing drone harmonicas, and just some of the companies back then, would have minor tuned harmonicas, and I always say, like a guitarist, you should get used to the Patty, or get used to Richter tune. That's the original tune. Get used to that. Learn how to play minor on a Richter tune harmonica. Learn how to play in your modes on there. And then once you get that down, you can go and get some other tunings. Kind of like a guitarist. Start off in standard tuning, and then you can expand to some other tunings depending on your need, your whatever music you're playing and what kind of sounds you want. So, yeah. So I mostly just use, regular Richter tune on the diatonics and Patty Richter. And, there's a nice new tuning. I think Rick Epping might have started it. I know Joel Anderson uses it a lot. It's called Easy Third. You ever hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got to make me some of them. I have one.
So that's kind of suitable for reggae too, right?
Yeah, because you got minor chords on the low end.
Yeah.
This one's kind of out of tune. It's in the key of A, but so you would play B minor in it, Yeah, I could do reggae. Yeah. So you got all this minor stuff, like the D, first position, you got the D chord. Now you can flaunt your minor chords on your easy third. A little bit out of tune on that. A little bit out of tune. Sorry, but
Yeah.
sounds more ethnic that way, right?
Very true. I love all the tongue switch stuff that's going on there. That's amazing. And I still
Thank
feel
you,
like
man. Thanks a lot.
on the regular diatonic, like there are so few players that, use the technique, and I think it has so much potential.
Yeah,
If you learn how to bend and overblow through both sides of your mouth,
Yeah, that's the decision I made. To tackle the harmonica, and mostly Irish music I play, and you gotta, most tongue blockers start off, they're playing on the right side of the mouth. And you're covering the lower notes.
Yeah.
So you get strong on the right side of your mouth, but then you're kind of weak. It's like writing left-handed if you're a righty, So you got to practice all your riffs and your techniques on the left, which is very awkward. But you got to become ambidextrous with your mouth, on both sides. So people say, how do you do that? Well, you just got to practice all your licks,
Yeah.
You can do everything in tongue blocking out of the left or right side of your mouth. It's going to feel awkward at first, the overblows and everything. But you can do it, And if you're going to do fiddle tunes, Irish tunes, where these big interval jumps are easy on a penny whistle, because it's all one direction,
Oh yeah.
It's easy. One direction, your fingers, same on a fiddle. On a harmonica, yep, if you jump around, you pick up the unwanted notes. But if you get good and handy with the tongue switching, and there's a lot of tunes like that where you need it. And I mean, you can get by with some of the best players are pucker players, even Irish players. Some of the best are puckers. So they have strengths, and there's not a right or wrong way. But if you want to do certain tunes and you want it fluid and look nice and even, and good articulation, in my opinion, I think the tongue switching is necessary. A tune like Drowsy Maggie. That's loud, pucker. And you can train yourself to get that
That's
speed.
a regular diatonic?
Yeah, D.
Oh, okay, it's a D.
Nice, yeah. You can do it, and it sounds good. It sounds musically, but...
Yeah, but it's also like, if you're on stage, like, it's not as safe as using the tongue
You're right
switches.
there. It takes less movement of the face and your hands. And the speed, you can...
Yeah. And obviously it's more legato,
Yeah. And you could really... And when you get doing it, the tongue switching itself kind of gives a lift to the tune. Kind of has this swing.
Yeah.
And you can remove the tongue for a second to give you a flash of that E minor chord, and that kind of another benefit,
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
So I
Something
encourage
I could
tongue.
practice.
It's a handy. I think it's the ideal embouchure for playing Irish music. In certain tunes, especially like that one with the big interval jumps, you just you can't beat that that fluidity and that confidence. You know you're not going to pick up any unwanted notes, and it kind of helps you with that having the whole mouth on the harmonica. Kind of the harmonica, you're blind to it because it's all going on in your mouth, but the tongue is kind of a marker, and it kind of helps me know where I'm at on the instrument,
Yeah, like the tongue can be your glasses. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like an antenna. It's like an antenna, where I can feel where I'm at on the harmonica and hear, where I'm at. So.
Yeah, Antje is asking, do you play special tunings on the chromatic or reverse slider for the ornaments?
Oh, I was just talking to a guy at the gig last night. He's going to get me all these Eddie Clark recordings. Eddie Clark was an Irish harmonica player, and he reversed the slide on the chromatic, so that when you hit the button, I might be mistaken if he played it with the in and then released, but I think he reversed it so that when you push it, it goes down a semitone instead of up a semitone, which is more Irish sounding when you try to do a roll, a traditional roll.
Okay.
As opposed to going up a half step. Ah. Yeah, so I'm going up it, and it doesn't sound, it kind of loses the Irish flavor of the traditional roll. But if you used one down, which Eddie Clark did, see, now I got the slide in, so
Yeah.
I'm playing in D flat, and then when I release, it goes down a step, half step. As opposed to it sounds like I don't know, Irish and maybe Yiddish or something together.
Exactly.
But Eddie Clark, and now
that's
now
interesting.
Brendan Power did something. He's got a harmonica. He does a lot with XP40s. He will take, and I think he calls it the Irish harp. And so Brendan will take, he retune the chromatic so that the next scalar tone will appear when you hit the button. So on the D, instead of D sharp, you get an E. On the E, instead of an F, you'll get an F sharp, So whatever, and that's part of the Irish roll, the five notes, On one directional instruments like a flute or a whistle, it's nice and smooth. It's really tricky to get that in an accordion or a harmonica. But I think Brendan Power did the most authentic and nice sounding Irish rolls with his tuning that I was just telling you about, the retuned chromatic that goes to the next scalar note. And so he hits that, and he does this unique Brendan Power kind of jaw flick in addition to that. And it sounds almost, if not, it's hard to get that nice, sound of the. I can't do the technique Brendan does, but with his harmonica and with that jaw flick, you get a pretty convincing Irish roll. So, and these are the things, decorations of tunes. There's certain decorations you can't do on an accordion, but you can do on a fiddle, and vice versa. So the player on his instrument will learn other ways to decorate. The accordion, like our instrument, it's push and pull, and it's hard to get that fluidity of a roll. So that's why I like tongue blocking too. You can, if you hear an accordion, they're hitting those chords like we do with the tongue, Yeah. So those are ways you can decorate and make your tune sound more pretty and lively. And little cuts, you know. I kind of use a combination of hand and head movement just to pick up a little grace note, you know. Yeah. So there's different ways you can decorate these tunes, you know.
Yeah, and I can hear like it's so obvious that not only like these ornaments and the articulation is so important, but also like you interpreting the melodies, just like the range, like the in terms of volume.
Yeah.
So like some parts of the melody are a little quieter, and then you get into that chord which is louder.
Yeah, Konstantin,
There's like
right there.
a lot of control going on.
The dynamics, yeah. You want to make it interesting for yourself, for your bandmates, for the audience, you know? And that's dynamics is because
And there's also like supports the swing.
Yeah. I'm still trying to play quieter and more effortless, you know, for the sake of my body and to make the instrument last. You get excited at the gig and, you know, you blow them out of tune. You know, even when you have a microphone, it's like, okay, you got the microphone, you don't have to play that hard. So, and it's expensive if you're going through the harmonicas, you know, and blowing them out. So I heard Eddie Clark used to have that problem, you know, at sessions and everything, because you blow hard and sometimes, especially with a chromatic, you know, you could break it. So, and again with the fluidity, if you play nice and quiet, I mean, even blues too. Joe Falisco is a great teacher of just use as much as you can, you know.
Yeah,
so
and I heard these two swells there too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still trying to become a better dynamic player, you know, and it really, you know, we're under the impression that speed and volume really reaches an audience, and it does, but so does, you know, quietness and just little dynamics and playing soft. It can actually be more powerful and capture the listener's attention even more than playing real fast and real loud, you know. And it's better on your instrument. You can really make those notes smear into each other like a fiddle if you're just playing, if you got good air regulation of out and in, you know.
Oh yeah. So
with the chromatic, the person who asked the question, yeah. So I like the DCX12. Sometimes I'll pull out the C, chromatic in C, but you know, most of the Irish music that is in D and G and the modes of those keys, and there's some ones out of you know, C and D minor and A too, but most of it's in 1 sharp or 2 sharp. So I love the DCX12, you know, for certain tunes. Some tunes have little accidentals in there where you need the slide, and you know, but nice thing about the chromatic is, you know, you can lock in with solo tune. Solo tune is how most chromatics are tuned. That's how mine are tuned. That's the standard tuning of a chromatic. If you lock into a 5-hole octave embouchure, blocking 3 holes, and just lock that in, get your harp nice and moist, you can get this big accordion sound, you know. I'll play one that has some cool tune that needs a slide, and you can hear where I go to single note for variety and then to chords or octaves.
Oh,
Chief
nice.
O'Neill's Hornpipe. It's a cool tune.
Many different modes in one key.
Yeah, that's an
crazy.
unusual tune. It goes to
There was some Ionian, there was some Dorian, some
yeah.
Mixolydian.
It's a weird
Crazy.
tune. There's a few strange tunes that that modulate like that. Yeah, the second part's really dark. It goes to an F. You could go to D minor too, but I like when the guitarist hits the F. I go off single note and then fill it up. You just lock in that big 5-hole embouchure, and then you got an accordion, you know. Got to keep it nice, and that's tough to do on a dry day if you got dry mouth. You have to have a certain amount of lubrication there.
Yeah, and you also do play the... Yeah, just like the 5-hole splits, like not only covering 3 holes with your tongue, but also 4, right?
On the Chromatic, just covering 3 holes. Yeah, and then that's how it is in a solo tuned harp, where just you lock that in and everything becomes octave, you know.
Yeah.
You can do Wes Montgomery licks, you know, that guitarist that I think it was him. Maybe yeah, I think it was Wes Montgomery did all his soloing in octave. So that's what you could do on the harp.
Okay, Kurt asks, is there any recommended learning material specifically for Irish diatonic harmonica?
I don't have any instructional stuff out there. I mean, I do classes and stuff, and I'm happy to give lessons. You know,
So do you give online lessons too?
I do, yeah. I give. I got a few students that throughout the week, you know, with Zoom and here in Chicago, I teach at the Old Town School of Folk Music, the Irish Ensemble class, and teach over at the Irish American Heritage Center right before our session. We have a traditional session every Thursday here in Chicago. If anybody's ever in town, come on over to the north side of Chicago to the Irish American Heritage Center and the Old Town School, which is close by too. So it's a great school. Joe Falisco teaches there too. He's got the famous class down in the basement there. Have you visited his class, Konstantin? No.
Never visited, no.
No, you got to come out here.
Visited his class at the Harmonica Masters in 2011.
Oh, okay. You got
In
to come
Trossingen, in
visit us here in
Hohner.
Chicago. Come see us.
Like the only time I've been to the US was, I don't know, I visited a harmonica friend, Jay Gaunt, in
Oh yeah, good player.
a while ago. But I mean, that was just New York City, like.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really getting to know the US, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'd love to see you at Spa some year.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, Antje says, of course, yeah, there's Brendan Power's instruction
Oh yeah,
book.
sorry. Brendan Power has got a plethora of instructional stuff. A great site where you can learn. He's got books and tapes. Joel Anderson now has just started an instructional thing. Tons of videos. There's some great teachers.
There's like a
There's
video
no
thing
excuse.
that he recorded with Marco with the Berlin Harmonica School.
Yeah. It's just amazing the work some of these players. I mean, they're great players. You're a great player. Joel's a great player. Brendan's a great player. You know, but to find the time to come up with these instructional tools and websites and Patreon and just there's so much. You know, I've never been one to really get into it, but to get into the full online and school but I'm glad there's guys out there that have the energy and time like yourself and Brendan and Joel to have these great resources to learn. Got so much.
There's so much stuff out there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. There's no excuse. It's a click away. There's there's people that, willing to teach you, for lessons, and there's free stuff, and it's a great time to be a learner of anything, especially, an instrument.
I mean, if you can focus on the right videos,
Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah. Because there's bad information out there too, but yeah, with a little research, you could steer yourself in the right direction.
There's another question. Oh, I like that one. Amazing guys, great playing, James. Do you ever do any jazz?
I'm not a jazz man. I'm not a blues man. I love both of those styles. I can't improvise like Toots or William Gallison or all the great jazz guys. I've memorized a few heads, but I can't let loose on it, Sometimes for fun, I'll, do an Irish tune or something into a jazz. Yeah, so that's about it. I memorized a few heads, but no, I don't do jazz. I go out to see jazz and sit back and just take it in. But next lifetime, maybe I'll tackle some jazz.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because for me, also like jazz, I don't know. I like to improvise a lot, but jazz was only like, I don't know, a tool to get better on the instrument. So I never was like the biggest jazz fan. I just like played a lot of blues, and then at some point I thought, oh, that gets a little boring, I don't know, and I want to get better on the instrument and incorporate all the overblows and stuff.
Yeah.
And the only other style of music that you saw that you could find online on YouTube was jazz. Some people playing jazz.
Yeah.
So you could find some Howard videos and some Jason Rosenblatt and yeah. So that's why I started to dive into jazz.
That's great. Yeah, I love
And now there are so many players.
Yep. Yeah, the jazz jam at the harmonica conventions at the spa is always a treat, And every year I say, oh, I gotta learn a couple and join these guys, and just fake it, for a couple of them. But I never do.
So if you are on stage, like, what's the usual setting? Like, which other instruments do you play with?
Which instruments?
Yeah.
Well, I'll carry my big case, and I got a variety, like the diatonics. I got a variety of whistles that I bring out in different keys. There's like the harmonica, they're diatonic. It's a low F, the D, and then with harmonicas, I'll bring my CX12, my 16 hole Hohner Super 64. I got a few XB40s that I play. Yeah, now this one, I'll pull out D, low D, regular D. The Rocket I like a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty loud. The low D. That was a nice tune.
You still have one of the low D drone tunings?
I do. I think so. Let me see. I got one in A. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bagpipe tuning. I had the low D. I blew that one out, but I got one in A here, which is a good key for drones, and I got to make one on B flat. I used to have one in B flat. When the pipers come in, I would get on the microphone and irritate the pipers and then join them. But I got one in A, and this is a tuning. It's like, I got it tuned up. First of all, like the G sharps, I tuned down to G to give me a nice Mixolydian scale in first position. And then on the left side, this is the gimmick. I have one blow and one draw, the same note, A. So that's the smoke and mirrors trick as you're playing the melody out of the right side to get the drone out of the left. Right, there we go. Some droney action there for you.
Wow, I love that draw chord. It's a suspended sound, right?
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a good workout, too, on... People say, I can't open my mouth that wide. Don't think of opening your mouth wide. Think of it just
taking the harmonica farther to your mouth.
Yeah, inserting the harmonica a little deeper against the relaxed tongue. The tongue flattens out and splays across, Yeah. And you can control it. Needs a tune-up. Sorry, Konstantin. It's a little...
Yeah.
But again, it sounds kind of like a lot of the pipes that come in St. Patrick's Day are out of tune anyhow. So again, sounds more accurate, right?
Yeah, very authentic. Did you ever try the PanaHarp?
No, I want to get one. I know about it. And
I was just thinking about it because of the... You also got a suspended sound on the blow. Which
I love that.
Nice,
Yeah. I've made up little harmonicas. We had this thing, a local thing, this harmonica hoedown, and I was playing with two guys. We were great players. And they turned me on to like Joe Jackson tunes and all these cool songs. And they wanted me to do chords on it. And so I made suspended chords and ninth chords and just in and out. And it was great. I got a couple of them somewhere, yeah. I gotta get back to those tunes, but certain harmonicas just for one tune where I had a major seventh on the blow and then a ninth chord on the draw, and it's just so much fun playing that, and as like the guitarist and with rhythm, and then the guys would play on the melody.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's funky with the minor draw chord.
Yeah.
What
do you think of it?
Minor third above.
Yeah. How do you like it, the PanaHarp? You got pieces that you do on it?
I don't know. Like I even did like a video with the guitarist for this, which is on the Hohner YouTube
Oh, I
channel
got you.
right here. I mean, I had to get used to the layout, and like I think in my improvisation you can sometimes hear like that I may be thinking of ending the phrase on a different note and something else comes out. That happens, you know?
The pentatonic scale is, people have made careers of just using the pentatonic scale to improvise.
Of course.
It's a great handy.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of use a lot if I'm improvising on a country song or some type of song if I'm not familiar with. I go to the safety of the pentatonic scale, and so I don't have a PanaHarp, but I think it's a great idea for. It's kind of a safety net, right? It's just all the notes in the pentatonic scale, so
Yeah.
kind of yeah.
But actually,
it's kind of like-
other keys are more expressive than the one printed on it. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, just playing the natural notes is like not the most expressive way of playing harmonica.
yeah.
I don't know. Oh yeah, that key. So that's that's basically playing the key of the draw chord. So this is an A. So I'm
Okay.
playing in C minor.
Nice.
That sounds
That's
like a
sweet,
guitar.
man.
And you can always go
Yeah.
back to that minor chord, which is cool.
That is cool. So that's what key is that? Do they come in keys? Is that A? Did
So
you
that's
say?
A, yeah. So you got the A suspended sound on the blow and the C minor on the draw.
C minor. Like so you're thinking like cross harp on like in second position, but you don't
Yeah, it kind of feels like second position.
because you're drawing, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, only the flatted
Sounds great.
third. That's the whole way. You only have like the half step between the blow and the draw,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't really get too much movement there. That's it, you know?
Yeah, right. Just shade it down.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's just
Yeah.
nice to just like slide up and down, you know?
It's fun to get a
That's
different
fun.
tuning, and
I like the suspended sound.
yeah, that sounds really cool. That's not a harmonica sound you hear
Yeah.
a lot. That chord.
I love that.
Sounds cool. Like a video game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost sounds like I don't know, like programmed MIDI.
Yeah. It sounds like synthesized. Yeah.
Exactly. Joaf asks, play some Gwen Foster.
Oh, Gwen Foster. Yeah, I get that a lot at the conventions and techniques. All us harmonica geeks. Trying to take apart our tunes and our techniques. And Gwen Foster was a guy back in the '40s, I believe. Great harmonica player and singer, and he had a really unique sound, a technique, a trick that kind of it has a few names. I don't know over the years. A tongue warp trill, the Gwen Foster technique,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's basically you're playing an octave or you got one hole, and then your tongue is kind of moving to the left and the right. It's just over the right amount of air. It just kind of goes into like a spasmodic autopilot, and it sounds like this. And it's good with melodies. You could do a. So it's a good place to start as an octave. You're gonna have nightmares tonight after watching that.
Yeah, we gotta put like the explicit version of this live stream on some other platform. I don't know.
Yeah. Be careful, beware. Some of the material might be sensitive, or it might be disturbing to sensitive viewers, right?
Yeah, the Hohner YouTube channel is gonna get a strike now.
Yeah. I'll go with 3 X's instead of 1 X, right?
That's nice. Like one of the. I mean, you mostly get 6th there, right? And then also that's nice in 2nd position too. Like.
Yeah, I heard you do it, man. That's great. Yeah.
So that's very, very beautiful.
Yeah. It's nice over that, you often play over a singer, with that draw chord and crossbar. You hear that, some diaphragmatic, But yeah, with the trill, nice thing to do while somebody's singing a verse,
Yeah, and in general, like that's also a hip way to like end the tune instead of using the 7th interval, using that tritone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you got that trill down. Not a lot of people can do it. Joe Falisco does it nice, but you got it. That's it, man. Let me hear it again. Oh, you got it. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, it's so hard to teach it. A lot of these techniques are hard to teach. People want to do it. I want to share them.
Yeah.
Share whatever info I can, but it's a hard one to teach. But I always say, just with the right amount, you'll know this, with the right amount of air pressure or suction, and just steady and a loose tongue, and just the right amount of tongue pressure on the harp, it just kind of flutters like a, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
if
and
you
then it's
blow
also
too
about
hard,
like which part of the tongue touches.
Yeah, it kind of anchors on there. It anchors on, and then with the right amount of air going across both sides, it kind of flaps, and it's the best way I can describe it.
Oh yeah, and then you do the octaves too that way, right?
Yeah, you
So
can do octaves. And
I
then,
just noticed that I could do that because before I always did
yeah, move
this,
your
like
head.
we're just with the steady tongue in the middle and then switching between playing through the left and the right side,
Nice, yeah.
But I mean, you could also do the same thing. I didn't practice this, but kind of, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, I never used to do that with the octaves to moving my tongue, I always had like the tongue positioned there and then
Yeah.
and if
It's
I
a
go
nice
up into
effect.
the
It
upper
really-
octave, blocking 3 holes, I mean that's probably too much for me to move my tongue around then. Then I'm still
Oh, yeah.
moving
Oh,
my head.
like a,
you know?
yeah. Like the draw octaves with 5 holes, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get that speed and that consistency if it's small at 3 or 4, but practice your scales. You got a little bit more, the tip,
Yeah.
a little bit more generous amount of tongue on the harp when you do that.
Okay.
It's not as clean as if you do like a blow octave.
And what I like to do too is just like using that tongue movement on a single note,
Uh-oh. What the heck was that? That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just like same thing. I'm just like moving my
On a
tongues
single.
from right to left and back, and then just on single notes.
Wow. Wow, I thought I heard everything. Now I gotta work on that. That's really cool. Sounds like there's a little grasshopper in your harmonica.
It's like a mandolin.
What? Yeah, like a flailing mandolin. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do? You could just go straight pucker?
Yeah, exactly. It's just. But it's weird, maybe, to do it with that thin embouchure first. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll work on it. That was, I thought I heard all the tricks, but that's new, man. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I never heard anybody do that. Yeah, I got to work on that and see if I can get that. Yeah, I got some ideas of what songs and tunes that would be really cool.
Yeah, I
on.
mean, I wish I could do that on bands, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like the mandolin or banjo. Sounds like you hit an effect pedal or something, some kind of spaceman effect. Yeah.
Could be like an extreme tremolo
Yeah.
kind of.
Practice it this way. That's the cheater way.
Yeah.
I gotta work on that. Oh, thank you, man.
So Z Young asks, how do you practice to do that tongue switch so fast?
Oh, tongue switch. Start off with on the holes 1 and 4. With an octave, 1 and 4. C harmonica. You gotta slow, and so an octave, and then close off the left, which is how most people start tongue blocking, blowing out the right. Back to octave. Now do the reverse with left, close off the right. I'm exaggerating with the, use a mirror and make exaggerated head movements. And then try to just do with your tongue. All on steady air. There's a temptation to stop the airflow. No, it's one steady exhale or inhale. And draw. When you're practicing, don't take the harp away. The diatonic has a 4-hole octave on 1 and 4. It's the only place.
Oh, yeah.
Make up exercises, That's kind of a safe place on the harmonica to do that. And
yeah, that's something I could do. The only thing I ever did was like playing the major scale, like alternating, like in octaves with octave jumps, alternating, like ascending and descending. That thing.
Yeah, that's cool. I got an exercise. Just assign one blow to the left side of your mouth. C. Now go up the major scale and always return to one blow. That stays on the 1 because it's the same hole. You could switch, I guess.
Yeah.
But, to keep consistent. But now as you go to 2, you're smaller, go over to the right. C, E, C. Now go up to, now you're practicing your bends.
Okay.
Yeah, so major scales are our friendly
Yeah, I never did
scale that
that
we all
tongue
know.
blocking.
What's that?
I never did that tongue blocked. Like only
Yeah.
like the lip purse thing, like jumping around like crazy, you know.
Yeah. It's a good exercise to get loose, and you won't have to, rarely have to jump from 1 up to 8. Sometimes you do, and again, it helps you navigate better around the harmonica, and you're constantly strengthening that left side up. Practice everything on the left side. Make it as strong as your right side. Bends too, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff to practice for everyone.
There's always something new with this instrument. We all play it differently, and like that little technique I'm going to work on that you just taught me, the mandolin. I'm going to call it the Konstantin mandolin technique.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I heard anyone else, maybe one player, I don't know.
Oh.
Like what I would love to be able to do is like the rolled R inhaling. I feel like all the French players can do that.
Oh, yeah. The inhale.
but
Yeah, I want to
inhaling.
do that too. I know. I wish I could.
All
get
the
that
French
movement.
players can do it. I have,
Really?
That's my feeling, you know. But also, like, even in general, I already have like, because it's another kind of rolled R that's like coming from the back of your mouth and not from the tongue itself. And I can't even do that like breathing out. So that's what I would have to practice first. I can only
Yeah.
do the rolled R with my tongue, like exhaling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I never heard of doing it inhale. It's like I can't get that whatever kind of.
Yeah, if you listen to Rochelle, if you listen to Greg Slap, I
Yeah,
guess Jean-Jacques Miteau too, like all of them.
and they'll use that, huh, on the draw, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I wonder what's going on inside their mouths with that. It's from the back of the tongue, huh?
Yeah.
Probably start a coughing fit if I right on live video if I try it. So I'm not going to attempt it. Try singing. When you inhale. I try that and it's like.
Oh yeah, that's something else that I always thought about, like that could be like an interesting technique, like like singing some notes while playing,
Yeah.
both blowing and drawing.
Yeah. I think there's a blues guy here in Chicago that he has this crazy sound. Like you all hear people yelling through it. Woo! But
Yeah.
I think he does something like alien, like I think it's Steve Bell, Larry Bell's brother, the late Carrie Bell's son. He's great harmonica, but Steve Bell. He's got this some technique where he gets a vocal note on the inhale through the harmonica, and it just sounds like this crazy siren. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I've
I
tried-
mean there could be like two independent voices, right? And I mean
Yeah.
it could sound crazy through an amp and everything. But
Yeah.
I mean, you would just like start out, I don't know, practicing maybe the major scale and then singing the thirds
Harmony.
or sixths. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I know. That's cool. Yeah. I wonder if anybody spent
Interesting.
time with that. Really, I bet you there's somebody out there doing some beautiful music with that. Singing
Yeah.
harmony with it themselves.
I mean, especially thinking about the lower tuned harmonicas too.
Yeah, I just grabbed my D. I always thought of maybe doing something like that, just with the drone,
Exactly.
singing
yeah.
over a drone. Yeah, I want to pursue that. Like,
Yeah,
just
did you try singing inhaling?
no. I'm afraid when I try to do that, sometimes I could
Oh yeah,
instigate
like
a coughing fit that'll last for like 10 minutes.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
dangerous.
it's weird.
Oh boy. It's
Yeah.
dangerous. I don't want to try.
But that's crazy. I mean, there are not many players out there doing this.
I know. People are taking notes now. Must perfect singing through the harmonica using the Konstantin mandolin technique, They're creating stuff right now, thinking of ideas.
Oh, swinging on the spiral. I don't know which technique he's talking about, but he says like William Clark's Easter Bunny Boogie. Oh yeah, Steve Bell sounds so spooky with that thing. What is that?
Oh, somebody knows about it, yeah? Where's my chat?
Yeah, I'm not sure like which technique he's referring to.
Oh. Somebody mentioned Steve Bell? I
Lost
can't
Fox
see the
Chase,
chat.
Wade Schumann, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Andreas in the chat. Snore backwards. Yeah, I mean, you could also... That's a bluesy kind of thing, like actually using the snore in inhaling, right?
A snore? Somebody called it a snore?
Oh, yeah. I can't really do that.
Yeah.
I would have to practice that. That can be very... can have a huge impact on like a full half-step band in the blues.
Yeah. There's probably a really cool musical use for it. Yeah, Steve Bell does something. It's kind of a gimmick, but it'll shoot out at you. He's got a cupped mic. He's playing blues, and all of a sudden, this weird like laser beam sound comes out of the harmonica. It's real cool. I heard it. I might be wrong. I heard that he sings or he gets a vocal note on the inhale while he's doing that. It's loud. And
Yeah.
you can hear the harmonica too, and together it sounds really cool.
Wow, we're exploring new techniques here. So, I think I linked all your social media in the description box below. I don't know, what's like the best way for people to get in touch, also for lessons possibly?
Oh, I'm on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook
Okay,
as far
I'll
as
link your
gigs
Facebook below. Yeah.
and just stuff. You could direct message me there. My email, I checked that, is harp3333 at hotmail.com. And my site, jamesconway.net, is under construction. I have to get off my butt and repair it. My webmaster is actually Eric Noden. He's not only a great musician, he's a great
Okay.
computer guy. Yeah, he's my web designer. So I got to get him some information. The ball is in my court, and I've been lazy and not getting that for him. But I have to get my site. So I'm going to try to get that up in the next couple of weeks. That's jamesconway.net.
Okay. Yeah. So and then this is a little ad. We always have these monthly challenges going on Twitch with changing topics. So the last funk challenge was 2 years ago, so I thought we could do another one. Our special guest is Davide Speranza, who was on the Hohner Live last time. So that's on April 16th, Sunday, 6 p.m. German time, like Central European summertime. It's summertime now. So, yeah, looking forward to that. We still have the video game music challenge in mind with my pianist who's known for playing that type of music. And, yeah. I mean, maybe we can think of a topic in the future too. Using weird techniques.
Yeah. Screaming through the harmonica. Hyperventilating through the harmonica using circular breathing and animal sounds.
Exactly. That could be like a contemporary harmonica kind of thing. With all these weird techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool. So I'm still thinking about the prizes. Did you check out the new Hohner Gold Melody yet?
No, I want to get my hands on one. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it
Oh
looks
yeah.
looks really cool. Have you tried it?
I mean, I do have one. I still want to send it to my customizer. He's way better at setting the instruments up than
Does that little divot on the top and the bottom, that space, does that bother you or does it help you?
this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually saw that Rochelle really uses it. I don't. I mean,
I could see that as a
it's not a
nice kind
problem.
of gripping point, you know. I want as you know to have it more firm, you know. But
yeah.
I know the Golden Melody is a great instrument, and there's a lot of people that use it exclusively. And you know, when you change something, you know, there's always people that I like the old way, but I've heard mostly really good things about the design and the sound, and I always like that instrument because of its equal temperament.
Yeah, very true. I mean,
Yeah.
talking about the tuning of the instruments, like, you definitely go notice if you record with an orchestra.
Yeah.
Like, if there's like a note that's too flat, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be dead on when you're playing with all those orchestral instruments. Like, imagine that that's critical that your harps when you play that stuff are in perfect tune.
Yeah. I did notice recording the pieces. I mean, like, most of the notes, I mean, you're in charge and you can still, like, modulate them. But I don't know, if your 7/0 draw is too flat, I mean, there's no chance you can play it higher, you know?
Yeah, you can't sharpen it.
So that's a
That's what
problem.
you just got to sing it. You got to sing it through the inhale, right?
Yeah.
Sing it in tune.
So yeah, that's the next thing. What's coming up on your side musically? What are you working on?
Well, you know, thanks for having me again. I know we tried to do this before, and I had a lot of
Oh,
stuff going on.
true.
But
Yeah.
like I told you, I said the April right after March is the best time because I do mostly Irish music and very busy here. The gigs are back with a vengeance, you know, after COVID, and we had a busy like 10 days of nonstop. It's very good, you know, a lot of playing, and I should record a harmonica CD now because my breathing and my chops are pretty tight now. So, like I told you, I said, oh, let's do it April, right after the run. I'll be in good form then. So, yeah, you know, I used to do music professionally, full time for about 6, 7 years, but now I got a day job. I'm a building maintenance man, a handyman, and but I'm a pretty busy gigging and teaching musician. Outside of that, you know, I teach a couple Irish ensemble classes at the Old Town School on Monday nights. I have, you know, lessons here over Zoom and people coming to the house in my music room here. I have a traditional Irish session at the Irish American Heritage Center every Thursday, and at least one gig on the weekend. Last night we were at the center at the Fifth Province Pub playing. I was playing with a guy from Belfast, Jim McVeigh, a great guitarist singer. And my usual drummer from my Mike Austin. We're in a trio. My main group is a trio called the Boyles. It's me and Jack Callahan on guitar and vocals, and Mike Austin on percussion, djembes and bodhráns, and I'm the melody guy and occasional backup singer. So yeah. Nothing tonight. Like I was telling you, I'm going to take it easy tonight. Next weekend, gigs. So staying busy as much as I can musically and looking forward to Spa. I got a slot to play at Spa this year, and I'll be part of Joe Falisco's teaching, which is always a favorite of the convention. And I'm looking forward to seeing all my harmonica friends again this year. It's been a few years, you know, because of conditions. So it's going to be in full force at St. Louis this year in August. And St. Louis has a strong harmonica group and club out there, so they host it a lot. And
Oh yeah.
and I see a lot of friends out there, and I got to think about some workshops I want to do. Usually do workshops on breathing and, some tongue blocking and Irish music and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, just had an idea. Like, I mean, you're huge into breathing. Are you also into the Wim Hof breathing technique?
Is that the guy that does it with the draw, with the circular breathing on the drawing?
No, he's like the Iceman guy. Have you heard about him?
What is that? No.
Oh, you should check him out. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of hip. He's like popular in like social media too right now. He's a Dutch guy. I mean,
what's his name? What's his name again?
His name is Wim Hof.
Q? Does it begin with a Q?
No, it's like WIM.
Oh, I don't know him. There was a guy that Joe Falisco turned me on to. Sorry, I don't know his name, but he's got a good handle on doing like circular breathing on the chords on the inside, on the inhale. And Joe is starting to do it, and it's really cool.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he does play a little harmonica. I noticed like he posted something on Instagram. I don't know, but he's like that Iceman guy, like with the ice baths and all that stuff, and his breathing technique, and he's selling the whole thing, like the method and.
What is he selling? Like circular breathing, or?
No, it's just like I don't know. The main element of the technique is just like breathing in like 30 times.
Oh, wow!
But like the most important aspect is like breathing in more air than letting air out.
Yeah.
Which is basically, at some point, I thought that's what most harmonica players are doing. Like we are mostly playing draw notes,
Yeah. It's good to your good control of your breathing is key to being a good harmonica player. It's a blow dry instrument. You don't need to do circular breathing because it's a blow dry instrument. But I think in pursuing techniques like that, it just makes you more aware of your playing, and you got this backup lung in your vocal track that you can use. I'm running out of lung air. I can build up my air here and play if I'm in trouble, and I got more of the phrase and it's all blow, with the help of your nose and basic rudiments of circular breathing. I think it makes it makes for a better harmonica player, and just it's not necessary, but I think it helps. It's helped me, and so that's it.
Yeah, he's a little musical, but like he's only like the ice man. he has like there's some Guinness World Records where he did,
I'm gonna check him out. I never heard of him. I'm interested to see what he's all about.
Yeah, he's about ice baths and I don't know, extreme temperatures, and like in combination with the breathing technique, which
does he play the harmonica in an ice bath?
No.
Okay. That'll be something new at Spa. We can have a jam session inside the ice bath, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would be a viral video.
Yeah. No, I got to look him up. It sounds very interesting. Sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to think of some stuff. I just uploaded a video of me doing some push-ups while playing harmonica.
Oh, yeah?
I mean,
I saw some videos of you. You're a martial artist too, huh? Kickboxer?
I'm not at all, and I never did that. But I started in November last year.
Good for you.
And it's the best thing I ever started to do. Like,
it's good. I was impressed. I saw you in the ring kicking some poor fella, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know Konstantin was a martial artist. So yeah, it's good to get away from the music and have a balance and make, especially physical stuff. I do a lot of bike riding and I get some good ideas. Cycling. I see a lot of harmonica players that are also bike riders too. It's a cool thing to be out on the bike, on the path when it's safe, no cars and just playing, getting the breathing going and getting the rhythm going with the pedaling. You could do that walking too, or it's and it helps. It helps you become a better player if you're
I thought
in shape.
of recording a video like kickboxing and playing harmonica at the same time. So, I don't know if that's a good idea, but yeah, it's like so rhythmic. I suppose like drummers would be really good at boxing too, because it's all rhythms.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then if you got the technique down, it's all just faster, faster, faster. You got to maintain the quality of your punches and then just do it as fast as possible.
Wow, how cool! It's kind of a tie-in to playing music there,
and also
too,
just like shutting off this thing up here, because like at some point like you can't think of like every single punch. Like it's just like, yeah, you just got to do it. Like as soon as you start to think you're gonna miss one or like do something wrong or kick with the wrong side or whatever, like
you go into autopilot, right? And you just
that's it.
Can't overthink it. Overthinking too much will hurt you,
and that's the same thing with music in so many situations. Like playing classical music, like there are like 2 or 3 phrases in these concertos that were written that, I mean, they sometimes work and sometimes they don't, They're super fast. And if you are on stage playing that and you start to think about that phrase, oh no, 2 bars to go, 1 bar to go, now it's coming.
Oh, that'll psych you out, yeah.
You're
doing really well, and then you become aware of, wow, I can see the finish line, and I haven't made a mistake yet.
Yeah, if you start to think about it, then you're gonna make a mistake.
Yeah.
If you don't think about it, it comes out, even if it's super fast.
Yeah, so true. Now, do you do this? I know a lot of classical music requires tongue switching. Or
I'm just reading the chat.
What happened?
Swinging on the spiral says, "Just don't think or exhale. Exhale. Got it. Lol."
Just don't what? What did he say?
Just don't think or exhale. Got it. Lol. Exactly. That's the key. Don't think and don't exhale anymore.
Yeah. Keep it all inside. Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you do when you're doing those concertos? I know the great classical player Robert Bonfiglio on Chromatic. He's a great tongue switcher, and he needs it on some of the pieces, and he uses some of those pieces as lessons. I got some lessons from him and some pieces I got to work on one of these years. But do you do tongue switching when you're tackling these concertos, Konstantin?
Oh, I mean, there are just like 2 little passages where it's needed.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they are brand new, like newly written, so
yeah.
Also by composers who never wrote for the harmonica before.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, it's good that you know how to do it in case somebody does throw a piece at you that has some big jumps,
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are some octave trills and stuff. Yeah. Then I would definitely use this. Chord answers, "You will be one of the greatest harmonica players of all time for around 3 minutes and then die as a legend." Yeah, if you do that, right? Don't think or exhale. Yeah. Harmonica Ice Bucket Challenge. Swinging on the spiral. I like your ideas. Are you on the Harmonica Heads Discord server yet? You should join. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I mean, we could talk for hours about weird techniques and breathing and everything.
There's so much. Yeah, we could. It's good. I guess we have a lot to talk about, but yeah, It's good. Breathing is important, and a harmonica player should learn both techniques of puckering and tongue blocking, because there's benefits of each, And the tone, I know that's an argument. You can get great, in my opinion, you can get great tone in puckering or tongue blocking, depending how, what's behind it, how open your vocal tract is. So some of the biggest tones out there you can hear on pucker playing, or listen to Howard on some of the low harps. He does everything, but I know a lot of his overblow stuff when he's doing, the fast stuff. He's doing puckering, and he's got plenty tone.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to close this off. No, I'm not sure. Rodrigo, tell James to show his tongue switching.
Is that Rodrigo Ibaneros?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, Rodrigo. Yeah, Dr. Rodrigo. We had some good times at the convention over the years. He's a great player. I see. He learned how to he fell in love with Irish music and Brendan Powers' instruction, and he tackled all the tunes on a C chromatic, playing beautiful Irish music on a C chromatic in the key of D and G and A, and effortless. Sounded like he was on a diatonic. Good player.
Wow, yeah.
Tongue switching he wants to do. We were talking about tongue switching.
Yeah, I think we have a clip of that.
Yeah. Just go left and right, Rodrigo. Move it to the left and move it to the right.
Yes.
That's all it is.
All right. Perfect. So, everybody out there, I think I'm going to see you again on April 16th for the challenge. And I'll keep you updated on the upcoming Hohner Lives. Yeah. Thank you, James. That was so much fun.
Thanks for having me, Konstantin. I'm flattered to be asked, and I was looking forward to it. I knew I'd have a good time goofing around, talking harmonica. So thanks for everything you do.
I got a lot of new ideas now.
Yeah, you gave me a couple too. That's a nice thing when you meet up with a fellow player. You get ideas, and you got to go to your own woodshed and polish them off.
Yeah. Awesome, everybody out there. Have a good evening, good night, good day. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye, take care.